Creatives, community, and kind folks out there, thank you for joining me. Today's Future Friday, and on Future Friday, we take the theme that we've been talking about all week, and we deep dive into it when it relates to our industrial tabletop RPG settings. Anything from, I don't know, ancient Victorian era to the modern day to the far-flung future and post-apocalyptic settings mixed in thereof. And in the end of this series, we've been talking about the Chosen One, the very stereotypically overused and some of us could say quite boring concept of someone being born or chosen or going through a few trials or being trained, etc., to be the one who will lead everyone into, and then you fill in the blank there, lead into 1,000 years of peace, lead us into a deep-seated, dark destruction that will destroy the universe. I don't know. Yeah, I was got posted like file chosen one dot exe. Now, of course, we always hint about things as we talk each day during our weekly theme. And of course, Future Friday is no exception. And strangely enough, despite the fact that many people would think that the idea of the Chosen One would never fit into science fiction, that's actually not the case. We have many examples, real-world examples, of what would happen in the far future, and of course we have ourselves very high technology. I brought up that the pioneers in our world, their last names. We have people today whose last names elicit a particular reaction, and believe you me, their children will be the chosen ones. We already have people here. I'll bring up a last name here in the States. How about Kennedy? How about DuPont? Hell, we're the last name of Musk and Zuckerberg and etc. are going to be individuals that are going to, if we don't put them up on a pedestal as the chosen ones, they themselves will. Oh, Pelora, yeah, the mother queen. Yeah. Yeah, the entire, yeah, listen, Pelora, uh, all of the royal family across the pond here from the States is considered to be chosen people, the chosen few, So anyway, also, like, for me, the people who colonize Mars or set up a base, around Jupiter and all those kind of things, I think their descendants would be considered the chosen ones, if not the direct individuals who have landed there. As a matter of fact, people who are brilliant, the ones who are the inventors, the designers, the computer programmers, if they don't choose themselves as the chosen ones, other people will. As a matter of fact, there would even be the individual who designs faster than light travel will be considered kind of a chosen one. As a matter of fact, in much science fiction, and this is done, I think, more out of honor than any I chosen one. How many different types of fiction there has been a star drive called the Hawking Drive, right? And that's done out of honor and respect for an individual who's very brilliant, who's changed our way. But you guys brought up the idea of genetic engineering being the chosen one, or looking to an alien race that maybe there's only few of them, but they're very powerful. Maybe they're psychically endowed, or they are so far advanced, they're a step or two in the Kardashev levels above humanity. Well, you only need to be one level above for them to blow us away, but you get my point, right? So in science fiction, that the idea of people embracing the chosen one is not too far away. And then of course there is the sentient AI and how we handle the sentient AI, from being extremely benevolent all the way to eliminating humanity en masse, right? A sentient AI that takes care of people as if they are sheep, um, you know, in other words, giving them life and security and everything they ever dream of, so long as they toe the line. You know, in AI, as a matter of fact, some people think. Let's see what you've written there. Some people think that even the singularity and much this has to deal a lot with transhumanism, which I'm a fan of that thought process. That some feel that designing AI to be truly sentient, or AGI, you know, artificial general intelligence, will usher in a an era of peace and prosperity for us because we will design ourselves our own godling. As a matter of fact, yes, some would say the Force sensitive or Jedi in Star Wars would be the chosen one, and the Sith themselves think they are specifically the chosen ones. You know, absolutely, and uh, yeah. Oh, and then of course we have the proverbial quote from the movies, right? You know, Anakin, you were supposed to be the chosen one. You know, right? Okay, but you know, some would say, well, that's Space Wizards. It's the same thing, right? You know, it's Space Wizards. That's not really science, but sure, it's in the far future. I hear you, Zeb. Plur says a mutating alien virus comes over, and one person gets mutated, but maintains their mind. Chosen one. Get a whole culty religion going around that person. Yeah, cult religions. Just because it's the far-flung future doesn't mean that we won't hold on to our whole culty, sycophantic desire to place one or more individuals above us. We love to find out our place. We love pyramids, right? And we love to find out what rung of the ladder or the pyramid we belong. And so, yeah. Uh, let's see if I can pronounce this. Yeah, Tesla Ranger brings up the Quizak Hatarak, I can't pronounce it. Oh, butcher that. Butchering a fictional word. But yeah, the in Dune, not giving some spoilers away, but the psychic mothers culture created. There was the coming of the Quizak. Um, it's pronounced like it's spelled. Okay, then that would be it was Quizats Hadarak or Hadarash. Yeah, that's not necessarily true. Depending on your on thank you, Plur. Like book came out in 1965. It's okay to spoil it. But they their culture created a fictional ideal of the coming of a powerful individual, and then over time some people started to believe in the fiction that they created, and then in the movie book story, the main portion that you read with the main protagonists, they go out into the desert with the Fremen who believe in this in the Kwisatz Haderach, and they're just like, yeah, whatever, yeah, my son is the real person. You know, we're gonna use these Fremen off for, you know, for all that it's worth, and then come to find out that he embodies that. You know what I mean? So, and when it comes to science fiction, if you want to go very much science fantasy, there's also the idea of traveling to being born in coming upon the location that will bring about the chosen one, whether there is a mystical orb, radiation, artifact, blah blah blah. Right? Everyone's looking for the fountain of youth idea. If you find the thing, and the thing will make you a godling. There's the idea of a an ancient, made most likely dead alien has technology that's so advanced it is wish fulfillment for us, much like the movie Sphere. I think it was a Michael Crichton book. Anyway, in the movie Sphere, we human beings go down deep in the ocean. We find an alien ship. That alien ship isn't alien at all. And inside the alien ship, there is a sphere. And anything you can imagine, that sphere will create for you. And so there is the idea of the wish fulfillment, right? It's the high-tech advanced version of the genie in the lamp. If you find the thing, it will allow you to make the thing. Zephyron says, I saw someone play a Rifts game where the group was a bunch of smugglers that traveled to a planet that hated technology. They used tech in secret to appear as chosen ones, creators of a new religion. Yeah, well, Star Trek, speculative fiction does that a lot. Star Trek crew gets to a planet that is less advanced to them, and they think that the human beings there are godlings and such. And like you said, maybe there are people who set up in a what is considered a primitive location and then set themselves up as gods because they have a lighter in their pocket, or they have medical technology or something like that. Yeah. Polaris says, I think modern day you'd end up with a little more than cult leaders claiming to be reincarnations of whatever entity you choose. Can't think of much else. Um, I, Also, genetic superiority would still be a thing. Genetic superiority, either created in a petri dish. We have today people who hold on to a genetic superiority. So, putting that in the future or far future or something would be applicable. I don't know if it would be nice or something, but hell, it would be. Scott Poe says my favorite chosen one is John Connors, which is just the kid Sarah names John, which became John is different every Terminator movie. So he's chosen by proxy of Sarah, who is the consistent chosen one. That makes a lot of sense. And yeah, we brought that up before. The Terminator, John Connor, right? The machines. And here's the paradox, right? The machines know they're going to be taken down by this individual named John Connor. So we're going to develop time travel to send back a machine to kill the mother who will give birth to John Connor, thereby the machines creating the situation that the mom now has to train her son because she is now completely convinced that if she doesn't, the machines will take over because they sent someone back in time, right? And then Omen bookends that with saying, yeah, and the concept of a mechanical antichrist, which I keep thinking about. Yeah, the Skynet Terminator world fits in with a somewhat biblical post-apocalypse at the end times. I think it kind of fits together in a strange kind of. I don't know if it was meant to do that, but I could imagine that. Zevron says, using secret speakers to make a booming voice holograms to fake images. The people believed in them so much that they actually eventually created new gods. It was surreal. You know what? Yes, using technology to make yourself appear as a godling to the point where maybe you even start to believe it yourself. Yeah, yeah. If hell today if you're rich enough, you could believe that you are the chosen one, right? If you're a multimillionaire, trillionaire, quadrillionaire, owning planets and things like that, could technology surround you enough that in many ways you can become effectively immortal and stuff? Yep. Oh man. Yeah, Dead Man says the movie calls them the Kizak Hadaraks. That's where I'm getting it from because the way the movie pronounces them. I kept thinking of them calling like the Cuisart Satiraks, but it's been so long since I've seen that. And there was an excellent like 5 or 6 hour television version of it. Low budget, but it was really good, much better, much better. Brought out the factions in it. Anyway, Zevron says he's different in every movie because they can't keep a consistent actor. Yeah, he's just being extremely sarcastic, dude. He wasn't being serious. Yeah, he's different in every movie because they keep picking a different John Connor in the phone book. It's the same Sarah Con. It's the Sarah Connor has a twin in different movies, and she keeps giving birth to another John Connor, and they're all like running around the countryside thinking that they're the only ones, but there's like 16 of them. Uh, oh man. Dead Man says the TV miniseries was Children of Doom. Was it literally called Children of Doom? Hmm. Did not know that. I did not know that. But I like the TV series very much so. Um, Zevron says Terminator was ruined for me when Spielberg explained the Terminators felt bad for exterminating humanity, that they purposely fail when they go back in time to inspire humanity to fight back. Well, yeah. Remember, Spielberg didn't make the movie. That might just be his own interpretation. Uh, because theoretically, the Skynet always fails. Otherwise, they would never create time travel to go back to kill John Connor in the first place. You know, that's that's they they're only trying to kill the mom and keep the child from being born because they fail in the future. So it's a paradox of sorts. Yeah, Spielberg is a glass half full kind of guy. If you watch most of his movies, he likes to end them with a hopeful thing. So he's just another guy. He's just like the rest of us. You can come up with your own um, interpretation of what a movie is. He just happens to be a filmmaker, but his opinion is no different than anyone else's. He just has more access to the individuals there. Stop. No, that's actually not true. Creators can say whatever the hell they want to, before, after, and during. And hell, Lucas has changed he's literally changed his mind and description of Star Wars. So it's for kids. Well, it's not really for kids. Yeah, it's for kids again. Um, in the chosen one science fiction arena of using the chosen one, there's also the possibility of striving for, again, bringing up the idea of the singularity, meaning that some people feel that humanity, however they describe humanity, spread across the stars or the planets and solar systems or galaxies, whatever, that if we achieve a specific thing, then we will bring in an era of prosperity and peace, and that could easily be downloading our brains into machines. It could be discovering a panacea against every single um, every single disease and bacterium and viral outbreak in the world. It could be, some people, of course, believe in military might. Hey, if I'm the dominant dictator of the entire galaxy, then everyone's life will be perfect. The designing of an AI that will take over our lives and give us the things that we want by simply by not having any desire, but to make us to give us the things that we need to make us happy. And of course, you can always we tend to find the not the silver lining, but the lining in the clouds, because behind the clouds because we always imagine like, oh, well, maybe a machine is going to plug us in like a battery and just go, oh, we're just going to pump, fluids into your pleasure center. Isn't that going to make you happy? Yeah, Pelora talking about Star Wars. Whoever buy Star Wars is for whoever will buy the most merch. Yeah. Oh man. But yeah, it's I yes, Deadman. The series wasn't about the children of Dune though. The series was about being Dune story. So I don't know why they would call it Children of Dune since Maldeep was the main character. But hmm, I don't know. I whatever. Um, Lando in Cloud City. You guys are silly. So the other aspect of science fiction and the chosen that sometimes we really don't talk about is the idea of the the isolationists. So in other words, there are the people who separate themselves from the main categories of the the main society to make, let's for example say there's like 2 or 3 dozen individuals who they isolate themselves in a space station or habitat or some asteroid or something because to them they have either discovered or trying to discover, or they have already found the individual that they feel is their chosen one, irregardless of what society says around them. So they may not want to leave their home. They've already decided that this is where the pinnacle of society will be, and their cult leader becomes the person that most represents that. That kind of thing. Yeah. Yeah, home is where the chosen one is. Exactly. There are even those people who, this is technologically, this is a strange thing to say, but if you can take narcissism to its extreme by people who will not only clone themselves physically and or copy their own brains so that they can live amongst themselves because they feel that they are themselves their own chosen one. Like, I'm perfect, so I'm just going to ancestrally live and breed amongst myself, for myself, with myself, you know. I knew you'd raise your hand, Pelora. Pelora's like, I do that. Yeah, technologically, that's a thing. That really is a thing. There's also the idea of, uh, yeah, isn't that effing yourself? Sure is. In more ways than one. Oh man. Uh, Stop it, Zev. Zev's like, every time he activates his double-bladed saber, it should make a cash register sound. Every time there's sparks fly, someone should put in pocket change and money flying around, paper money, just like zoom, ching, 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 ching. Oh man. Oh, sorry. Well, anyway, technologically speaking, there is also the idea, because we love to be depressed about things, that you can predict the downfall of humanity. And so finding the first person, the one person or the individuals who will prevent that downfall is also the idea. Meaning, like, existential threats like um, black holes or the gamma radiation, the exploding of quasars and whatever they are, things that spread radiation that will wipe out all life. Um, the collapsing of stars and of stars as they wink out of existence. The idea that there is nanotech that's going to spread over unrestricted von Neumann nanotech machines, that we will uncover a virus that there literally is, that kills us in 72 hours, and there literally is no cure for it, period, end story, right? And so preventing those things from destroying all of humanity, and finding the person or the persons who come about who are like, listen, I get that we want to live, but there are going to be things that are going to destroy us, and I know the ways to protect us. That person might be a chosen one as well. And when I say that person, it might be something mechanical. Um, Ancient civilizations, especially ancient alien civilizations, may themselves have ancient texts or information or warnings for humanity that finds them, that talks about a chosen one, or that a confluence of particular events or celestial things, when the planets align in the galaxy of so and so, the chosen one will arrive. And who's to say that that thing won't excuse me, thing won't happen? And if you want to, yep, Joseph Keenan says, yeah, a virus can rewrite or break DNA. Yes, in there is some there there's some science fiction that has talked about seeding planets with DNA from other alien races, and we could accidentally slash on purpose release that DNA so that that alien race can then spread inside of our own DNA, thereby colonizing our planet through, not through alien ships, but just basically rewriting our own DNA. And embracing that and or fighting against that is also an idea. Zevron says, would you consider Superman a sci-fi chosen one? He's basically Moses. I would absolutely say that Superman is, he is the proverbial epitome of such a thing, right? How many stories have we seen of the person from another world coming to Earth with gifts far above and beyond humanity to teach us something? Superman, absolutely. Uh, the, the Kryptonian Superman absolutely is a chosen one, and not just chosen one, but think about it, right? He literally, Jor-El, his dad, is like, yeah, you're gonna go to Earth, lead them. You're gonna be their king, right? Um, that's been rewritten in many ways, but yeah, they're depending on the source material you're coming from. Yeah, Superman was in many ways designed. There are some stories where Jor-El literally genetically altered Superman, Kal-El, his son, to be the king of Earth and to lead them into another world, to bring them into the era of Kryptonian technological advancement. Maybe not socially, but technologically, absolutely. Um, I would say that. Oh, Dead Man brings up the Species series of movies. Um, I feel like if you want to go more horror story, Species, Contact, and a number of science fiction will use this particular set of circumstances. Okay, humanity sends out signals out to. This is more modern day. Okay, follow me on this. Humanity sends out a signal into space. We are listening, and we are also listening for signals to come back to us. We hear a signal, or we're sent a message through some kind of mysterious alien purpose. We take that message to us, and then, unbeknownst to humanity, we follow the tenets of that signal. And that signal could, like in the Species series, create a new species or mutation, growing or changing our genetic material. In the movie Contact, we design a machine that is supposed to allow us to travel to another alien location and such. And so finding the mysterious alien signal that is give us something, and we then are supposed to extrapolate what that is definitely a very horror um, exploratory kind of thing, because um, much like the Cthulhuid mythos, humanity, we tend to think of ourselves as the pinnacle, the center of the universe, and everything revolves around us. But a lot of science fiction writers will then write in, yeah, you're just an insect compared to these other things, and yeah, when they talk about bringing in a new era of peace, it involves eliminating you stupid viral human beings, Homo sapiens, like a virus spreading around, right? Yeah, I'm with you, Omen, there. Ooh, species, sexy alien women. Oh, yeah. All wet and greased up. Sorry, but that's a thing, right? Uh, Yep, Tesla says in Man of Steel he was a mix of all the Cass DNA in sent away from Krypton, right? And that's just a different variation of the Kryptonian mythology. That there's what is it? Warrior caste, warrior, political, and science. I think is how they described it. But anyway, what the case may be is that he's the combination of all of them. Almost like, oh yeah, around, lay around. That reference is from Pepe Le Pew. Anyway, Zephyrin says he is also self-chosen, deciding to defend the planet because he has all this power. He might as well defend people with it. We often put aside the idea of the self-chosen versus the internally chosen versus the externally chosen, if we can consider that a thing. Um, yeah, given with great power comes great responsibility, right, Spider-Man? Thank you, Stanley. Hey, kitties. The idea that sure, I was supposed to eliminate all of humanity, but instead I like them, so I'm going to defend them. I was supposed to be their king and destroy their known way of life and bring about my culture, but instead I'm going to stick around and save their lives and let them develop on their own. Uh, Joseph Keenan says it's a good thing with that is that most viruses won't shift from one species to another. It takes extended close contact and a semi-related species, like I guess you're saying from, say, fowl to pigs. Yes, in reality, viral outbreaks don't jump from, say, dogs to humans to birds to, it doesn't work in that manner. But hey, this is science fiction. We can do whatever the hell we want, especially if humanity finds out that, say, from the alien movies, as some could interpret as revealed in the Prometheus movie, that humanity was basically a viral outbreak that has to be eliminated because it was done on purpose by, say, a rebel engineer. I guess they would call engineers or something. But whatever. Yeah, I mean, playing with our place. Sorry about that, because I have a kitty that wants to head rub you. Come on, where are you? Come on, I give you head rubbies. Playing with the idea of where our place in society is and who is to lead us is a thing. Yeah, almost. I just love his head already. Yeah, but they're cats, they don't. Common sense isn't a cat thing. Oh, Joseph Keenan says you've been infected by the proto-molecule. Welcome to the ring. Yeah. Also, you in a tabletop RPG setting. Sorry about that, Zeb. I'm like, Zeb's brain's exploding. Like, no, not Prometheus. No, stop. Shut up. Don't make me relive that movie over and over again. Ah! But in all seriousness, though, I know you. I know the idea of not knowing something really annoys us tabletop RPG content creators, tabletop players and stuff. But follow me on this. Humanity finding some secrets to genetic or technological superiority, right? And then they themselves, Kitty, I'm so much to say what's up. Yeah, yeah, there's the back of your head. There's the back of your head. Yeah. Um, Finding it and then deciding for ourselves where we are, where our place should be, is a thing that is very speculative in science fiction. An example would be we find a way to genetically modify ourselves, but that modification turns us into bestial animals. Now, one could say, well, if we lose our technological advancement and we get thrown back into the prehistoric age, that's terrible. Because, I mean, we would have no culture anymore. Others would say, you know what? If all of humanity was thrown back into the Stone Age, that we would be one with nature, and that global war and poisoning the environment and all that kind of stuff would completely end. We would just live in a naturalistic, Darwinistic society where we just hunt around and eat things, and just like every other animal. So, you guys are so silly. Uh, yeah. Joseph's like, Mr. Stripey meows hello to your kitty. I'm presuming Mr. Stripey is on the other end of this technological discussion. Maybe we'll have to get them together. Bring back Hangouts just for pets, right? Google Hangouts for pets or something. Maybe I shouldn't have said that because that's probably a real thing. Ooh. Yeah, because they could like Bluetooth it. They could just have one big button that the pet could tap to open up the video to another pet somewhere in the world. Yeah. Plural's like, we are every other animal, a fancy monkey. Yeah, yeah. Some would definitely say that. And you guys know that I love transhumanist theory. The idea of transhumanism in the first place, or posthumanism, or however you want to, searching for the singularity, is that technology allows us to pick and choose how we become our own chosen one, and the fight to get there. Some would say that uh, humanity becoming a hive mind is the singularity, because then if we can feed and think like everyone else, we will stop trying to hurt and kill other people because we will be someone else. Others will say that designing an AI that will take care of our every want and need will completely eliminate suffering, because the AI will figure out how to clothe and house and educate and medicate and protect every human being in the world and give us the things that we desire, even if it's something that we ourselves can't put into words, you know. Others believe that they could make themselves supermen, to make ourselves genetically, uh, physically, and mentally superior to anything that human has given birth to. So we can make ourselves immune to disease, physically strong, live physically live thousands of years, increase our brain power and our memory, making our memory perfect and eliminating every genetic weakness we ever have. Others would say that downloading our brains into computers and or living in mechanical bodies is probably better, because we can switch them out and modify our own codes and things like that. So, dead man, dead man, the epitome of sarcasm. Sniffer, Tinder for dogs. Cats don't get Tinder since they aren't as active as dogs, um, unless the cats get like the porn version of it, because they're pretty nasty. Plus, it's a transhumanist society where you have to prostrate yourself in front of the chosen one who decides who can get what augmentations. Yeah. Post scarcity is a yeah, Joseph Keenan says AI equals post-scarcity society within a decade or two. And the people who will fight the hell to prevent that. A simple, I will try to describe what post-scarcity means, which you guys already know, but maybe someone is listening or is watching this. Post-scarcity is the idea that the things we need to live and survive are no longer scarce. They're no longer hard to find. That with very, very easy access, we are able to find food, clothing, housing, um, protection from the elements, protection from the unseen, protection from dangers outside of ourselves, whether it's like radiation, animals, the weather, and things like that, for every single human being in the world. That's what post-scarcity means. It means you no longer have to go to work. You can just go to a machine to get some food. You no longer have to struggle against a working system. And it's pretty scary to think that you no human being will have to work in the world to get the things that they are working for. And we today have people like myself. I'm an armchair. I'm an idiot. There are people who are very high above me on the intelligence scale, who are trying to figure out what humanity will look like when we reach post scarcity. Because remember, an AI machine that can do everything, when I say everything for us, um, able to mathematically and economically figure out how all of humanity can live, doesn't need to get paid to do it. A machine can just, you want me to figure out cures for, the top 5,368 diseases? Give me a minute. Here's here are your answers. Oh, you want me to figure out how to feed every person and figure out the logistics? Okay, I'm already done. That kind of thing. So, you want me to create factories that will produce genetically superior human bodies and download your brains into them? I can do that too if you want me to. Um, yeah, Plur's like, while looking you dead in the eye, watch me, human. Yes, good. Yes. Joseph, Mr. Stripey, son of Chowderhead, brother to Mr. Spooky, adopted nephew of the dread cat Bonkers and Schrodinger T Cat. Oh, I love those names. I love that. I hope they're real in your household. Please tell me that. See, my, my cats kind of do that too. I'm gonna have to have a whole channel on the cat situation here. Joseph Keenan says there will still be people working, but doing what they want and enjoy instead of struggling to make ends meet. Yeah. Yes, I think you're going to have a large contingent of people who will refuse to adjust to that. You know, um, it's a crazy thing. Omen says post scarcity sounds like something the Eldar of 40K had before they squicked an evil god into into existence. Yeah. Oh, that's cool. Jokey, that's cool. Yeah, cats with DJ channel. 24 hours of cats. So silly. Zephyr says, I love the idea of an eldritch being that is chosen to dominate a section of space. They're the chosen one, all right, just not chosen to help you. Yeah. And listen, with science fiction, there's always the idea like, yeah, there's the chosen one, doesn't mean you had anything to do with it or that it's going to work out for you, which I always find kind of hilarious, right? Because again, we love to think the world, hell, the whole galaxy, the universe revolves around little old us, right? We love the idea that, well, if there's some eldritch being from the deep space, of course it's going to lift us up into a new age of prosperity and stuff. We never think that we're going to be, I don't know, the Twinkies of the universe, right? We don't think that we're going to have the soft, spongy on the outside with the moist, delectable insides. You know, you guys are silly. um, yeah, you brought up someone brought that up before about Cisco. Like Cisco's dad with Tron is a good example. Um, yeah, and of course there is the interpretation slash misinterpretation of things. Humans find aliens. We make contact with aliens. Yay, we're all happy. Aliens say, you know, amongst your people there will be a chosen one, or amongst our people there will come an age where a chosen one is picked, and we, our technologically arrogant selves, are like, yeah, whatever. That's not going to happen. And then the thing happens, or they themselves, the aliens, are like, oh, we've been following you for years and we've read your biblical texts or something like that, and we know when your godling will come back. We know when the Antichrist will be born or something like that. And we're like, what? You know, we've moved past religion, and the aliens are like, why? That's actually a textbook that's really going to happen in the future. Why would you go past that? Which would be a pretty interesting concept. I don't know if that would be great for tabletop RPG, although I guess you could play with it. But as a book series, that would be kind of cool. Like aliens are like, yeah, we've got technology, but like all of your world religions are actually the playbook of what's going to happen because it's happened to us. And we're like, what? Anyway, there's also the continued example of the idea of the chosen one in terms of, or chosen, not what. Okay. People, myself included, we're scared of change. Okay. And a device, a creature, an alien artifact, a machine, a computer, or whatever that says, listen, I am that which you have chosen to lead you. Listen to me when I tell you that you need to do these things, is a pretty scary idea in and of itself, because while it is technologically sound, it also has a lot to do with faith, right? An AI system that tells humanity, guys, I created a computer program that I have already figured out what the things that will make you happy. But the things that will make you happy and make you a better person and bring more joy into your life is something you've never ever done before. So imagine a computer program that's taken the algorithms of everything you've ever done, throws it in a machine and goes, listen, I'm going to have you, I've purchased you a house, you're going to move 5,000 miles away, and the home is going to have some other people living there, and I have like a pottery machine in the corner. I also have some musical instruments, and periodically people will like walk through the woods and stop by the house, and you're going to have conversations with them, and you're like, I have no interest in doing that, living out in the woods. Like, I love computers and playing computer games, and or I want to go sailing, or like I don't want to do that. But if the computer system says you should do it, you know, who's right? Are you going to fight against it, or is it something you would embrace? You know, Zevra says being chosen doesn't mean the thing you're chosen to do will work out how you think. Yeah, yeah. If you're the chosen one who's supposed to bring about the elimination of all society, that's that's not necessarily a good thing, right? Or or maybe you're supposed to be chosen. I hate to say this, but maybe you're supposed to be chosen to do something that's going to cause you to die. Um, Thinking of Watchmen, in Watchmen, Ozymandias, or Ozymandias, if you're a pronunciation will actualist, Ozymandias killed what is it, over 3 million people by teleporting a psychic squid into the center of New York City, just to try to bring about an age of peace and prosperity to prevent nuclear holocaust. thought he was the chosen one, you know. Yeah, Dead Man brings up the deep thought computer from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Yeah, yeah. Joseph Keenan says, "You got my juices flowing, forming an idea for a Savage Worlds campaign, sort of like Stargate universe. Ooh, you could combine like a Stargate idea where there are these Stargates, right? Go to different places, and on the end of each Stargate is a particular concept of the chosen one wherever you go. And maybe the entire Stargate gated system was created by an alien species whose only project was to find the chosen one and see the entire galaxy with uh, these millennia long projects to come about, to have all of the chosen ones in 1,000 times 1,000 worlds and locations to come upon just one chosen one from all of the other chosen ones. Ugh. I hope that made some sense. Yeah, Joseph Keaton is like, yeah, think of the fantasy grounds for it. Why that's why thanks for putting that out there into the intelligence sphere there, dude. Joseph Keenan said, hooked up to a computer simulation, time manipulation in your brain, you can get a college degree level courses in a matter of a few hours. Yeah, the world simulation idea has been proposed many times as speculative fiction, and people plugged into worlds that you can live over and over and over again, whole lifetimes, is something that could be done quite a bit, you know. And how to play that in a tabletop RPG is a little bit difficult. It's kind of like making up a character that has a character. It's a very strange idea to like, I'm going to make up my character for this world, who also has themselves an avatar that's a character in another world. It's a very meta kind of thing that some players have a hard time accepting and wrapping your head around. Also, the idea that we're going to sit down to play a game in which my character already knows that they're inside of a game in many ways also is a thing too. The one, yeah, Dead Man. Yeah, there is a using the multiple dimensions, Stephen Hawking idea that there are multiple dimensions, and from the movie The One, you find out that if you murder kill yourself in another world, you become better. So then you do become the one, and trying to stop the one from happening. Maybe you're like, I don't want to murder kill myself in other worlds. Although, if you're maybe the PCs, that would be a great idea. Damn it, Dead Man. Okay, so follow me on this. There are multiple parallel worlds in which, much like Quantum Leap or Slide, more like Sliders, the bring up the quantum mirror idea. Yeah, so like Sliders, there are multiple dimensions where things are different in every world. Player characters make up themselves. Like, I'm going to roll my character up or write down his stats, whatever game system you're going to use. And then the game master takes all the player characters and then alters them for every other world that exists. So maybe your player character is I'm making this up off the top of my head. Your character is a psychic knight, like a Jedi in this future world where you slide from dimension to dimension, but in another world, your character is the equivalent of a Sith in another world. And then in another parallel world, they're a cyborg, and in another parallel world, they are a dictator, and in another world, they are a mercenary or an assassin or a doctor or living a very mundane life with their kids or living on a deserted island or whatever. And so the game master takes everyone else's player characters and makes them the adversaries and NPCs in all the other worlds. And people are going around murder killing themselves in other worlds to make themselves become the one, and maybe the PCs are preventing that from happening. Oh, oh, had to go there because I would go there too. Yeah, in another world, you might be an adult film actor. So silly. I mean, that's a joke between my friends. Not necessarily, right? Someone's like, "Why do you keep going to Dimension 687?" No reason. Yeah, I want to murder kill that person so I can become that person's uh, overly endowed version of themselves. Yeah. You mean I'm a famous beautiful actor or actress in another world? Time for me to go kill them. What? I'm filthy rich in this other world. Hey, let me go there. You know what? That's actually, I don't know why, but that just seems kind of fun. So thank you, Dead Man, for that idea. Especially if you're just a poor schlub in your world, but you go to this other world and you're like rich or famous or well respected or brilliant or um, a top level athlete or something, and you're just a poor schlub, and everyone's like looking at you like, "Hey, you're that brilliant scientist," and you look around like, "Scientist? What?" Like, oh, of course, you yourself from the other worlds might try to kill you, the poor schlub in your own world, making you yourself your own adversary for yourself. I like that a lot. And then no one, literally the setting could be that no player could ever claim the game master is trying to set them up to be killed because your own enemy and your own adversary is your own self. That'd be kind of cool. That'd be kind of crazy. Um, yeah, Joseph's like plugging into the computer to level up. Hey, Jokey, hey, everybody, come on, you guys are hanging around for an hour. You got to go to work. Um, hell, I got to do the same thing. So, thing. Omen says this might be a little too sensitive, but imagine you find yourself in a dimension where Jim Carrey is the U.S. president. What are you talking about? Dude, we already live there. But yeah, I mean, I, the idea of I always thought the idea of the television show Sliders was a great thing, where you where the most bizarre things have happened in worlds, like, and humanity has taken a different turn. So that could be the case. And much like the movie The One, there could be someone who is trying to become the one by going to these other worlds, either to discover a hidden individual or something of that nature. Maybe in our own world, the chosen one was killed, and there is a desire to find the chosen one somewhere else. I mean, technologically speaking, talking about transhumanism, some would claim that we could technologically create the perfect biblical figure, if you follow me on this. And I know it's quite, it can be quite controversial, but technologically speaking, someone could really claim that we could create an individual, a biological individual who is a saint, whose thoughts and feelings and desires and approach to life encompasses all of the perfection that we want. What if we can create another job and then treat them treat them badly? Yeah. Um, Not quite along the lines of the chosen one, but listen. Would there be someone who is rich enough to create clones and create a society of people simply for them to use and abuse and torture? Of course, of course. We've already hell. Um, what's the dude that supposedly killed himself / was killed in prison that owned an island. I know you guys know. Anyway, in real life, there was a person who had an island that they would take the ultra rich to, bring a bunch of women there, and have their way. Epstein. Thank you very much, Dead Man. I knew you would know that. When I went on my cruise, I was on a catamaran with a person who took us to a tour that went past that very island, and they said it was an open secret that everyone knew that they came there and developed that little section of the island. Of It was an island off of the island, and everybody knew. Yeah, when you fly private jets in and helicopters and stuff, and everyone knew the women that were brought in, what was going on over there, women, drugs, and all that kind of business. Hell yeah, with given technology, that would be very large. Whole space stations would be devoted to, I don't know, pedophilia. you know, yeah, sexual abuse and torture, like with the movie series Hostel. Dedicated to that. Oh, they're only clones. I mean, they're not real people. I like it when they scream and yell in pain, but I just put them in the dumpster and recycle them and grow myself some more bodies so I can chase them around or slice their flesh off of their body or something. Omen's like, sorry, but being a foreigner to you, I don't know that much about the Epstein debacle. Don't worry, you've got your very own. Every country. Long story short, this was an individual who was able to had a private island in which the ultra rich could go there and do what the hell they wanted. That's the whole thing, and we've seen that writ large throughout all of history. Someone has a place where you're able to go and do and be the kind of person that normal polite society would lock you away and throw away the key. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Um. Oh, Dead Man's. Oh, hmm. How did I miss that? Yeah. He's supposed to be. Yeah. Not. Yes, very much so. That's what I'm saying. Yes, he's supposed to be, and he. The going theory is that he was arrested and committed suicide in jail because in his head he knew all of the names, but there's also the idea that he was killed in prison so that he would never divulge to people who went to this private island, made all these deals and did all these dirty things to people. And there's women out there who have come forward to talk about the abuse that they suffered, but they're how society is. Their voices are being shut up, so whatever. Um, Guys, we've gone past the hour mark. I gotta head off to work, but I greatly appreciate you guys coming in. Next week we're going to do the theme is going to be very simple. It's going to be winter. Because I wasn't able to do it in December. January kind of fits for this section of the states and some of the places that you live. I know some others of you live closer to the equator and it's far more tropical, but I hope winter will be something that you will be able to jump into. I'm picking with you, Omen. I'm just picking with you. But yes, next week's theme will be winter all the way through, and of course you guys know, hell, we're going to do 5+ hours of deep diving into what normally seems like a very simple thing. Thanks, Scott. Happy Friday, everyone. I want everyone to have a great day. Thank you for spending your time with me. As always, your time is very valuable. So I hope I'm back a little bit of change. Everyone have a great one. I'll see you later. Bye.